All right, guys. I wanted to do a follow-up video about what we did on Thursday. Remember, I did a little workshop outside of school hours in hopes that you guys would show up and make the bowl along with me. And so this was the result of it. I will be posting that video as well. But it's been 3 days, almost exactly 3 days. We did this we started it at 3 on Thursday at 3 p.m. And today is Sunday. It's 2:20, 2:25. So you can see it's been uh, pretty much 3 whole days that this ball has been outside outside the bag because obviously I wanted to be leather hard. And so I remember checking this on Friday, which approximately 24 hours after, and it was still uh, too soft to work on it. It was better. I could have done the inside. Um, I could have carved and refined the inside, but I didn't. And so I decided to leave it out longer. And so pretty much this is where we're at right now. And so that you guys can see that um, you guys can see how the clay that we were working with. Remember, this is the wettest that I have worked um, with clay, and I know some of you got this type of clay because remember this was recycled clay that we needed to use. But check this out. See how wet this is. How almost uh, well really hard to work with. But look how my hands the clay sticks onto my hand. So it's pretty much like mud. And I was just doing this so you could see that it doesn't matter a lot of times how the condition of the clay. Um, I want to show you that you can still make a bowl out of with this type uh, of clay. All right. So anyway, look, it's super wet. So I'm just gonna go ahead and dry and wash my hands here on the side with a bowl of water that I have here. And so um, that's how bad the clay is to work with. But still, again, you can still work with it. I was telling you earlier that there's always advantages and disadvantages to the stage of the clay. And if you remember, I told you that if the clay is this flexible, you can literally smooth out the inside the first day when you're making your bowl. And that's kind of what I did. If you look at this bowl, it's not that bad at all. I could almost just leave it like that in the inside. And so that's one of the advantages of that. And if you remember from the first video, I also trimmed the rim of the bowl with the dental floss, which has become one of my favorite tools to cut, to use to cut. Um, just 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 playing around, I left one of the pugs that I was using from this super wet clay. I left it outside, and you can see obviously it got even more dry. And if I try to break it, um, wow, it's really hard. Wow, I'm very surprised. Look, I was hoping to break it in half, but it's not. I don't think it's gonna happen. Check that out. So, the clay will eventually dry to a point that it's not manageable. All right, let's see what we got. One of the cool things about the clay drying is that it's gonna shrink. I think you can kind of tell from here that it shrunk a little bit here. And by doing that, the pulling it out, it becomes super easy. So I feel that sometimes you probably don't even need the cheesecloth, but it's always better just to use it just in case the clay doesn't want to come out. But anyway, there's my bowl. There's the finished product. You can see here that because I really pressed down on the pugs, that there's hardly any work to do on the back of it, right, or on the bottom of the bowl. This is pretty good. I really like this stage right here, which I wouldn't say is leather hard. It's more like stiff leather hard because look, it's not bending. And if I try to squeeze on it, it's very hard to make to make an indentation. So see that? Uh, but it's still good. Look, if I take my nail and I press down, I can still make indentations in there. But if I take the whole thumb like that and try to press down like that, it's really hard. Now, one of the cool things about being on this stage is that since you already have, since you already removed the cheesecloth, you can see better its definition. And again, if I was to use my fingers as a measuring device like this, I could feel and determine how thick the the thickness of the bowl really is. And part of just being good at craftsmanship, obviously, it's to make sure that the thickness of the bowl it's somewhat the same, right? I know this is beginning ceramics, but obviously that is the goal, right? To have a nice thickness all around the bowl. So right here, I can feel that around this part that it's a little bit thicker, which is fine if the bottom it's a little bit thicker. But remember, our goal is to never have this bigger than half an inch because then we run into problems. So anyway, there it is. Again, it's really nice. I really like uh, the this stage. By the way, the temperature in this classroom has been, I would say, average about 60 degrees, and so for the last 3 days. So you can see it took that long for this to be um, ready to do some work. All right. So what I want to do, I want to see if I can refine it a little bit more. And remember, when I say refine, I mean to smooth it out, to get rid of these sharp corners, which are not gonna look nice if I leave them there. And so I'm gonna round the rim of the bowl, and I'm gonna smooth it out with the sponge. And so um, this is a little bit thicker than usual, but I'm gonna be okay because I'm gonna be using this bowl the for the third bowl that you're making, which is we just called it a planter, even though it can be anything you want. But the planter is gonna have positive and negative space, which is the two um, methods that or concepts that you need to learn this first semester. All right. Okay. So I want to see if I can remove some of the some of the clay inside, just to have it more even. And like I said, when I run my fingers like that, I can feel that in some areas it's a little thicker. It's just a little bit thicker, like here on this bottom area right here. It feels, just follow my thumb, my index finger, and my thumb inside. Okay. There's no cracks, right? Because I really press down and smear, overlap my pugs. And again, look, you can barely see the pugs here, which again, is going to be really easy to get rid of them as I am refining this bowl. All right, so one trick I was thinking that you could do is try to have them create a measuring device with the uh, with something in order to have a better approximation of how much you would need to remove from the inside. And I thought about this cool idea. Here's one of those gift cards that obviously is not good anymore. This is, I really, really like this material, this plastic material. And I thought, what if I create a template that has the same shape as my bowl. And so that's what I'm gonna attempt to do right now. I know you could use other tools, like you could use this loop tool right here, and you could look. You can see that it's about the same angle as the inside of the bowl. I'm trying to do a better job here. See that? It's almost the same roundness of this black bowl, plastic bowl. But obviously, most of you don't have these tools that you're supposed to, oh, not that you're not supposed to, but that you could have bought. And so, and I know you could use other tools to to um, to do that as well. But again, maybe you don't have this because you didn't buy a toolkit. So let's try to use this. I'm just looking for my. All right, and so let's see if this works. I'm just gonna go like that, and I'm gonna guesstimate right here. Again, I've never done this before, because I haven't had the need to make myself. But I'm thinking about you and how for some of you it was really hard to um, to get this right here, like this, the inside, right? This angle right here. So here, see what I'm doing? I'm trying to approximate the, look at that. See that? Pretty close, right? So if I go like this, you can see that it's almost there. So I could cut a little bit more here. Make it a little bit. It's a little more slanted. Okay. Oops. Wow. That worked out perfect. Perfect. Look at that. See that? It fits perfectly. So if I put it like this, showing it to the camera, okay, that's pretty good. So now that I have this, I can see if using my that, you know, if I did an okay job, and it looks like I did. So just remember how important it is to make sure that those pugs are that the pugs, when you're pressing down on them, they you go as far as the thickness of an Oreo. You know what's really cool about this? I don't know if you can see it, but actually this is like I'm able to just remove smooth the inside with the with the gift card. Look at that. I can literally um, just keep it like this, and it's giving me a pretty close. This is nice. I'm look how I have my right hand holding the outside. Okay, so what I'm thinking, because like I said, I'm really checking for craftsmanship. Here, you can see how it's making it nice and even. And what I want to do out here, I want to go ahead and get rid of this line right here. This also takes some of the clay and it kind of fills it fills in the little gaps created by the pugs. See that right there? See that? I'm simply going like this, and look how nice it's doing the job of covering. So I guess it is important to have the right stage of the clay in order for you not to do so much work when you are refining. Again, refining is very important because if your bowl is going to look unfinished, it's not going to be good, right? So there you have it. I am. This is easier than I thought. Just doing this, it's taking care of the gaps. See that? And I don't know if you can hear the sound. All right. So just smoothing it out. And again, guys, don't be afraid to mess up. I keep telling you this. If you mess up, do it again. Okay, this is one of the few classes where you can make mistakes and learn from them. So there's some gaps that are a little bit deeper, so I'm gonna keep going back, and I guess when I grab a little bit of this clay, I'm just gonna go ahead and push it in there. So there you have it, from being almost unworkable. Now this clay has become hard enough to make it nice to work with. Go the other way. Yes, this way. There you go. Get rid of that. And this makes it so much safer because again, the right amount of you're just moving the clay around. There's not going to be any air bubbles. We're going to come back and run the. I mean, I should be working in the inside because that's what I started with, right? That's why I made this nice card, but somehow I'm getting getting more entertaining. This is more entertaining what I'm doing right now. And so also make sure you clean your table. Look at this. I didn't clean it at all. Also, again, look, that's why it's one of my favorite tools, because I can bend it like this and almost try to find the the curve, match the curve. And so here's another example how the same clay is covering the gaps. I don't have to put any additional clay. And so I'll just go ahead and take care of the top as well. Just get rid of all the gaps. Now that I'm doing this, might as well just get rid of all those gaps. So a lot of times the clay is not going to be on the ideal condition that you want. You just have to work around it, and you are in control. Remember, you're in control of how dry or how wet you want things to be. I was planning on working on this bowl yesterday, Saturday, and I got busy at home doing other things, and I couldn't come. So I decided I had to come today, Sunday, because if I leave it out for one more day, it might be too hard to work with. And if you guys remember, uh, I have this bowl, and again, I like to experiment with things. This is the bowl that I used on the previous video when I was showing you about negative space. You guys remember? And look at it. It's still kind of wet, and I've been intentionally keeping it alive. I've been spraying water on it, and to see how far I can push it. I'm gonna, when I have a chance, I'm gonna come back to it and finish it up. But so there you go. I sprayed it with water again, and I'm putting it back in the bag again. But anyway, let's go back to this. I don't need to put any water. So look, I'm almost done. This last gap that's almost there is right there. See that? Right there, my finger. So and so just going back and forth. I'm gonna intentionally take a little bit like this, and then, oh, there you go. It's gone. All right, it's gone. Okay, so look at this. Now I pretty much smooth the whole thing. I can see a little gap right here. So I'm just gonna try to. Now, can I put it back in the bowl? I'm thinking, and can I'm thinking about something. Let me put it back. I know it's not gonna stick in there anymore. Look how much it shrunk. See that? And because I didn't remove that much, right? And so here you can see where it's a little bit a little bit higher, a little bit lower. See that? And so I don't know. Can I trim even a little bit more? Can I use this to even it out? Maybe. Look at that. So you can see here it's a little bit lower. I don't think it's because, no, okay. So you can see there, it's nicely centered. And look, it didn't lose its shape. See that? If you look around it, you can see that it's about the same distance because I just centered the bowl. And when I run my dental floss, you can see that it's pretty even. So I think we're good. We're good with that. Um, if I was to carve a little bit, like I said, it's pretty even, so I don't even think I need to bother trying to trim anymore. But if you wanted to, let's say you put it back in there like that. If you have a needle tool, you could probably try to trim it like this and use this as a measurement. So look what I'm doing. See that? I can trim it to make sure that I have about the right height. So go like this, and you can see that this, you can see how this is stopping here, and then here I'm just maintaining about a quarter of an inch below. So I know now that I'm gonna get the right angle all around if I would keep doing this right here. So those are some strategies on how you can try to keep things even. And you don't have to take a big chunk of clay. You could just do it smoothly. So look at that. I trimmed it even more at the top just to make sure that the height is about the same. So let's see now. I'm going to I remember I did the outside, so the outside is looking good, and the inside. If I want to be a little bit pickier, I could almost measure it. You can use your modeling tool. Um, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take a sponge and I'm going to do this to smooth out the around it, and then also make the outside even nicer. So there you have it. And you can see that my rim is not that bad, right? So let's let me see if I can use. You can use your needle tool, or you can use uh, a pencil. So if I use the needle tool, this can give me, and look how I'm holding the finger right there. If I want to get a more accurate uh, thickness on the bowl, this gives me an idea of where I want to trim. Put it right here. So look at the distance right there. My fingers, how I'm holding my fingers. And if I was to go like this, that finger is going to tell me where I would need to carve, right? So you can see here, and so if I look at that right there, this is, you can see this is a little bit thicker, then I can come back with my, and this is, look at that. It's not bad at all. That really works. Check that out. Nice, huh? And I know my angle is going to be perfect right there. All right. And right there, I already got to where the line was. This is fine. This is fine. It's a little bit here. And so you need to have this hand outside my, like in this case, my right hand, because um, you don't want to bend the clay so much where it might crack. You might make a crack in there. So there you go, right there. Obviously, my bowl wasn't that bad from the get-go, because obviously my pugs, I'm always making sure that my pugs are, that I'm pressing the right amount. Okay, so all right, but you get my point. That's basically how you can make sure that you are right now. It's not even touching the rim. Right now, my uh, plastic car is, it's trimming this part right here on the bottom. For those of you who really wanna be excellent with craftsmanship. So all the action right now, it's happening towards the bottom. In this, you can see here by the amount of clay that is coming from the bottom. And so slowly but surely, right? It's giving me the right thickness all around. Nice. I like this idea of having this template here. Look at that. Now if I run my fingers here, I can feel that the thickness is the same all around here, and obviously at the top as well. And now I'm gonna go ahead and you can trim with this excess to keep it. And if your rim is not perfectly the same, don't worry about it. Okay, we're learning here. It's a beginning class. So there you have it. I'm going to I want to do a little bit more in the inside just to make the bottom a little bit even. Don't be afraid to apply pressure. I hope you can see that on the camera, what's happening here. Look, if I put it a little bit sideways, you can see how I'll put it like this. See, I can even bend it. So now I'm really obsessing over having a nice inside here. Even. Okay. So there you have it. And so if you put this back in there, you can see that it's the same as the outside, like that. Even though I can feel that this is a little bit thicker right here, it's not a problem. but at least it's not too thick. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and just uh, smooth out the inside. So I'm gonna take my sponge and then go around like this. A little bit of, because I want it to be smooth, and I'll be done with the inside. And I'll do the rim, which again, you don't want to have any sharpness because you're not going to be able to use it. There you go. Okay. And the more you do it, obviously the more round it's gonna become. So don't be afraid to keep doing it. I would even think that if you wanted to uh, pull out a little more, you could use the, the scratchy area. Look at this. See that? Just make sure you you wash it. So there you go. Don't be afraid to experiment and try new things. Like, huh? Oh, I'm really getting rid of that sharpness right there. Look, if I go like that, I'm getting rid also of that little. This is gonna leave it a little bit rougher. There you go. So you're in control. Look at that. So I made it even nicer and rounder. And right here, let me see if I that trick of like moving the clay back and forth. Look at that. It works. Look, I just got rid of that uh, hole, that gap that was there. Um, so I'm smoothing out the outside. I'm not gonna use the scrubby part no more. I'm just gonna use the soft sponge. The inside, I don't need to mess with it anymore. Look at that, looks pretty decent, right? And so I'm just gonna go ahead and try to smooth out the outside. I think there was some debris that was left because I was sitting it on the counter and there was some stuff in there. So I'm just gonna go ahead and remove it with my card. And let's see if I can smooth it out. Yep, there you go. Okay. I kind of like that, using the rough area to get rid of these holes that might be there. See if it kind of fills them in, and then take the. So it doesn't matter what you do, what approach you use, as long as the final outcome is what you desire, right? So there you go. You can see it's not bad, really quick. I'm speeding up the process, obviously, because I don't want this video to be too long. But I hope that when you guys are doing this, you're taking your time, and that you're taking your time, and that you are enjoying the process. Okay, so there you have it. It's um, it's it's done. I mean, this is how your first bowl was supposed to look like. Um, just smooth on the inside, on the outside, all around. Right? And so don't forget to put your name. And I know I should have um, shown you this, but when you put your name, you don't scratch like that, right? You don't just scratch like that, but you put the needle down and then you press down. Look at that. Put the, let me focus this. Okay. You put the needle down like this, not like that, and you press down. See, because you don't want to have any debris around it. And so I'm gonna put my initials, and that's nice and clean. Look at that. Mhm. So basically, what I've done again with these two videos is showing you the whole process of making a bowl from beginning to end. And this video is going to be longer than the other ones because I really took my time to break it down. Anyway, look what I'm doing. I'm not I'm not carving in, I mean not carving, but I'm not scratching it. So there you have it. Um, my initials. The I'm gonna leave it alone because I wanted to I wanted to dry a little bit because right now, because of the sponge and the water, it feels a little bit sticky. So I'm gonna leave it alone and put it back in the on a tray. Okay, a paper towel so it doesn't stick on the tray. And I'm gonna put it inside the bag because I don't want it to dry. Obviously, if I think if I leave it out for another day, it might be too hard. And right now, I told you it has the perfect consistency for me to add or to carve things on. So now I do want it a little bit drier. So I'm putting these paper towels so that it absorbs some of the water, but not all. And right now, the dry paper towels are going to remove some of that moisture from the bowl, right? So one of the things that I was telling you that some of you were doing with your bowls is that you were like carving uh, carving things out like that, and this is a big no-no. Check that out. See all that debris? This is when we fire the clay, these things are going to become sharp like crystals. And if you try to remove them, you're gonna break some of that. So if you do this, okay, it's fine if you do it like this, but you need to remove and have some clean edges. If you guys remember, you can actually write names with this as well. There you have it. I'm making it way bigger, and then you can just come around and clean it up. Make sure that the edges are smooth. You can use the rubber tip. You can use um, a pencil, just the tip of of a pencil. You could go like that, but you definitely need to clean things up. You cannot leave them dirty like this. You know, you could use the loop tools to go around and kind of go like that and remove some of that excess clay, and then come back with the pencil and do it again. Look at that, right there. Wipe it. All right, guys. So I'm gonna stop now, and tomorrow I'm going to put a design on that bowl that we just finished, and I'm gonna do the negative and positive things. So see you next time.